ces prochaines semaines. Donc, yeah, on est à la fois sur Instagram ici et Facebook Live ici. Okay. So, okay, let's get started. Yeah, I see that a lot of people are getting sick. I hope it'll become easier. If there's anything I can do, of course, just let me know. Okay, let's get started. We're running a little bit late. Thank you for your patience. We're trying to set up high-tech communicating via 2 platforms or 3 platforms at the same time. So that's why we're a little bit late. Today, I'm going to explain to you a little bit about the workshops I'll be giving with Just Be over the course of the next month. So there are 4 workshops. I'll run you through them, what they are, what we're going to do in the different workshops. There'll be always information sessions and mastermind groups before. Information session will be a short video where I explain some of the ideas that are relevant that we're going to cover. The mastermind is going a little bit more in depth for people who want some helpful takeaways but can't afford it, or are not sure if they can afford it. Every time I do something like this, even when it's free, it's not totally free because you are paying me with your time and with your energy. And I want to respect that. I want to make sure that your time and your energy is well used, put to good use. And also it gives you a flavor of what it is we will be covering, because that way you get a better idea of if it's relevant to you, and you get a better idea of if you like the way I think, my method, my style, because you don't want to be stuck in 6 hours of workshop with somebody whom you can't stand, even if it's relevant. So that being said, let's get going. 4 workshops. The first workshop, which is starting in 2 days, and this evening at 6 p.m. Dubai time, so 4 p.m. Europe time, there is a mastermind group. The first one is about, how do I call it? I called it Business Tools for Holistic Practitioners. What this is about, and this works for holistic practitioners, freelancers, small business owners, even large business owners, and even free people who are concerned with losing their job, who don't exactly know what they do if that happens. And of course, one option when you lose your job, when you need income, the quickest way to earn money is to sell your services. So what this is about is running a business is not rocket science. It's not particularly simple, but it's not rocket science. A number of resources out there make things really complicated. So I understand a lot about running a business, and sometimes I watch videos that talk about topics I know and I understand inside out, and I get so confused that it's not imaginable. Now, if you're trying to run a business, there's a high probability that you're not exactly sure of where you should start, what you should do, if you should, like what documents you should prepare, where to start. And there's a big risk that you spend a lot of time, money, and energy, especially time and energy at first, doing activities that are not helpful, or that come at the wrong time, or barking up the wrong tree, or trying to think through things such as, what is the slogan? What logo will I use? What font will I use on my website? This will not help people give you more money. And this is one of the main ideas. When you run a business, so the first workshop, when you run a business, it's about how do you generate revenue so you can pay for your costs. If you don't do that, you're wasting your time. So the main thing is about the revenue, and avoid wasting time doing activities that don't have a high impact or have a negligible impact. And one of the reasons why we do this a lot, and social media is an absolute trap when it comes to running a business, is because we don't know what else to do. We don't know where to start. So my goal with this workshop is helping you change the mindset. So selling becomes something you want to do. Often when we think of salespeople, we think of dishonest people who just want our money. We don't like that because it's immoral. We underestimate how reluctant people are to being immoral. So changing the mindset, giving you the tools where you understand what a business plan is, what a business model is, how to create it, branding, positioning, sales, and then we'll cover some other topics. That's the first workshop. The second workshop is about toxic people, also called narcissists. Actually, before I get into this, I'll just explain a little bit about the pricing. So just pull up. I have a spreadsheet. Because it's COVID times, and because all of this ties in rather nicely together, I want to give a special offer where normally, just in very, very short, the special offer is if you purchase multiple workshops, it becomes gradually cheaper as you go along. The details, the too complex to explain here, but if you read the details on the Just Be website or contact Just Be, they explain. The more workshops you purchase, the cheaper it becomes. And if you decide to do all 4 of them, which would be amazing, then there's an even bigger discount. So it actually becomes really affordable. The idea is here, these are tools that most people will find helpful, and I want it to be affordable so that it's easier for people just to say, I'll invest in myself for these 4 weeks and I'll learn a lot. Each workshop is about 6 hours, so that's 24 hours. It's a lot of things I've learned. So first one, business. Second, toxic people, toxic relationships. Why is this helpful? And for whom is this? Well, chances are we've all met someone who is toxic. Many people have been in a relationship with toxic people. Toxic people gaslight their way through our lives. They waste so much energy, so much time, and so much money, and they make everything much more difficult. If we have toxic people in our lives, often we don't understand what's going on. They gaslight us into thinking that the problem must be us because that's how they function. Until we understand how toxic people function, it can be very difficult to identify the behavioral patterns and get them out of our lives. Changing them, you can forget about it. It pretty much never works. I might have 2 instances where it worked, but that's a rare occurrence, and even there, it's not sure. Until we understand it, until we understand these people lie to us, they lie to themselves also, so it's nothing personal. But until we understand that they lie to us, we can waste inordinate amounts of time and energy and money trying to figure things out, feeling guilty. And what we often do there, they manipulate us so that we delegate the responsibility of our lives to them. So they are the ones who can dictate what's right, what's wrong, what's good, if we're a good person, a bad person, and so on. This, incidentally, is the same pattern we have with toxic people that we often have with businesses, where we delegate the responsibility of making decisions to someone else. Whether the person is toxic, whether it's an imaginary boss or client, it's the same thought pattern, different symptoms. Symptoms of not having healthy boundaries. It's symptoms of not wanting to take responsibility or knowing how to take responsibility, or being concerned with being affirmative, with listening to ourselves, with respecting ourselves. So here, the second workshop is about identifying the behavioral patterns and then understanding how to heal. For anyone who's been in a toxic relationship, until you realize the toxicity of the relationship, there's a possibility that it changes your behaviors today. And if it changes your behaviors today, it possibly is not in the best way, is not for the better. So I know many people who will say, I had one bad experience with men or women, basically one man or one woman or multiple ones. Therefore, I assume that all of the group is like this. When some people say, I've got trust issues, I don't trust men, I don't trust women, often it boils down to one or multiple bad toxic relationships. And until we identify it, it's difficult to change the patterns. We are likely to get caught and stuck in multiple toxic relationships. As long as that works for you, that's great. But usually you see it with partners, sometimes family members, friends, employers, colleagues, and it's not fun. Toxic people, I mean, that's why I like the term toxic. I think it's more interesting than narcissistic. Toxic makes things toxic. It pollutes. It's polluting your life. It's polluting your mind. It's polluting your energy. It's detracting energy from what you should be doing, which is being happy, leading a life where you're responsible, and where you can, and when you can actually approach challenges in constructive ways and improve yourself. So 4 workshops: business, toxic people, time, money, and energy. And then the last one is about navigating our lives. Time, money, and energy is an interesting one because pretty much anything we do requires some investment of either time or money or energy or all 3 of them. So any example, you just think about it. Mowing the lawn. Mowing the lawn takes time. It takes energy, or you can pay someone to do it, and then it takes money. And even when you mow it yourself, you have to pay for electricity or pay for the gas and so on. It's always about finding a balance. The rule here is if you mismanage your time, your money, and energy, you're not being efficient with your life. You're probably not getting the results that you want. You're probably wasting time and wasting money and wasting energy. And you can actually find quick wins in order to improve your life. Typically, managing your time or your money or your energy better starts having a positive impact. It's a positive spiral. Things get better when you start somewhere. So where can you start? And this is probably one of the only life hacks I really believe in. Better time management means less stress, more productivity, better results. Better money management also means you're saving more, and the best way to manage more money, to manage money better, is to spend less stupidly. And that leads us to energy. Generally, the things that deplete our energy cost money. So if we're able to respect ourselves more, because when we respect ourselves, we get more energy. That's one of the ways to figure out, is something respecting ourselves or not, is to see how much energy we get from it. When we respect ourselves, it generally costs no money or very little money. So this workshop is basically 3 workshops in one. One is about managing time. The other one is about managing money and beliefs we have with money, improving that. And then the last one is about managing energy better, which is respecting ourselves. When we respect ourselves, we get more energy. Just run you through quickly one of the main ideas here is time. We each get 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's really unfair, but it's unfair in the same way for everyone. Therefore, it's fair. Some people only need to sleep 4 hours. Okay. And other people need to sleep 8 hours or 10 hours a night. Fine, whatever. Whatever we need in order to sleep is what we need. And how we use our time, the remaining time, is pretty much up to us. Pretty much. So if we use it better, we get more things done. We have more fun. We accomplish more. We have a better life. And if we waste it, then we have a less good life. When it comes to money, some people are born rich, some people are born poor. It's really unfair. The only rule is whatever you have, if you manage it better, you have more. And if you manage it less well, you have less. And this is true whether you're rich or whether you are poor. If you are able to save money, you become more independent. When you have enough money, you no longer require a job in the short term, so you can be more picky with your jobs, which means you can find more interesting positions. You can negotiate from an equal to equal level, which is the best way to find the right jobs, and keep out of jobs with toxic employers, toxic bosses. And here we go back onto the second workshop, which is about toxic people. So that's time, money, energy. Oh yeah, energy. Energy is renewable. When you have no more energy, if we respect ourselves, energy comes back. And that means sleeping enough, eating healthily, spending time doing things that make us feel good, positive things, make us feel good in the long term, not short-term pleasure, but long-term. So when we learn to respect ourselves, we're able to keep high levels of energy. Think of energy levels between 0 and 10. Think of the average you're at most of the time. And think of the discrepancy between the average. So if your average is 6, what is your low? What is your high? Do you sometimes drop to 4, to 3, to 2, to 1? And your high, is it 7, 8, 9, or 10? And then you start having an idea, and this is just a way of assessing your life. You start seeing what is your average. And our goal will be to raise the average, and the lowest score to raise that. So if sometimes you drop to 2 or 1, let's try to get it to 3 or 4. And then the average will sort of take care of itself. But the main thing is removing the low bits. So I give you some tips about how to do that. The last workshop, and feel free to ask questions. I should be able to see questions on Facebook. I'm on Instagram also. So if anyone's got questions, just go ahead. The last workshop, I called it Navigating Your Life. And this is a really ambitious one. I was thinking of starting with it or finishing with it, but I think finishing with it is the right way to do it. Navigating your life is basically all of the most helpful and relevant tools I use in coaching to understand the world. It's a full model of the world using psychology, traditional psychology, depth psychology, talking with the unconscious, leaving space for emotions, understanding the role of emotions, understanding when rationality is no longer relevant, so we can learn to shut the head down, analyzing the vast majority of situations to understand what the hell is going on. Quite often we don't know what is going on. We don't understand people's behavior. This is a model that I've constructed, taking bits and pieces from different other models. And it's been unbelievably helpful to go through situations. I see that with my clients. They're able to take any situation, analyze it, come out with plausible explanations and a good idea of what to do. So why is this relevant? It's relevant because if you can manage your life yourself, you're no longer reliant on other people to tell you what to do. And you'll understand why sometimes we like other people telling us what to do. You'll become more independent. You'll learn to listen to yourself. If you do coaching or therapy, or you work with other people, it will help you understand them much better. It will help you manage people in your life better, whether it's your employer, your partner, your family, your children, works far better. And it's also about managing yourself better. When we use this model, we can understand ourselves with more kindness, with more empathy, find solutions that are manageable, that seem more plausible. So yeah, that is the goal. It's ambitious because it's in only 6 hours. I'll be sharing the most important ideas I've gathered from so much training. I don't know if it's going to be dozens or hundreds of hours of training, but pretty much all of the important ideas that I found put together. It's not only I found the ideas, packaging them is not particularly easy, but I found a way that works, that makes sense, where it's like everything clicks. I'm very, very excited about that. That to me is of course it's been life-changing, something that I use. For my clients, it's often life-changing. My clients often understand their situation far better when they use this. And it's so much fun to see people say, this is a situation I was in. These are the tools I used. This is how I managed it. And I managed it on my own. Like for me, that's the best thing, is when someone says, I managed a difficult situation on my own, whereas before I would typically have hit a wall and been stuck. And now with these tools, I manage it. That's great. In terms of, we was talking about business before. In terms of business, we could argue it's not a particularly smart business model on my side, because I'm preparing people to no longer be my clients, but I don't care. The point is that people be independent, that people lead the life that makes them happy, and there are enough people who need help. So that's my goal. There we go. In short, the four workshops. So managing a sustainable business. If you're managing a business that's not sustainable, this is so important. If it's not sustainable, it's not ecological, it's not respecting yourself and the environment. And at one point, you're going to have to give up because the opportunity cost is too high. And then what do your clients do? It's really important to manage a sustainable business. And there's no reason why, if you're actually helping people, why you can't earn a decent living. If you can't, at one point, you'll stop. You'll have other commitments. You'll have, you'll be tired of depriving yourself. And there's no reason why someone who actually helps people can't manage a sustainable business. Or maybe your business is not sustainable. Maybe the model just doesn't work. Then you'd better know it before you waste time, money, and energy doing it. Maybe all you have is a hobby. And if it's just a hobby, keep it as a hobby. Like, I love playing music. It's a hobby. I don't want to earn money playing music because I ran the numbers and I don't see how it is remotely likely that I will be able to earn money doing music. But I'm happy to give it out. If people listen to it and enjoy it, that's cool. And then I earn money doing other things. That's the first workshop. Second one, toxic people, understanding how to get them out of the life and establish healthy boundaries. Toxic people and toxic behaviors are a good test of if we have healthy boundaries. And if we don't, they'll find a way in. So it's highly unpleasant. It's a great learning experience. Third one, time, money, and energy. The best way to improve your productivity, your life satisfaction. And all of this is, again, manageable, easy to understand, implementable. We'll also look at the barriers, why we don't do it, why we don't want to know how we spend our time and our money. It's painful. It's really painful, but I'll explain why. And then the last one, navigating our life ourselves. That's a crash course into the coaching method that I use. There we go. I don't see any questions. If you do have questions, then reach out to me. The organization we have is this Monday at 6 p.m. Dubai time, 4 p.m. European time, and 3 p.m. UK time. And for the rest of the world, I'm not sure when that's going to be. I will be giving a masterclass about business tools. So here, sharing some of the main ideas, and we go more into depth during the workshop. Then next week, there'll also be a short live where I'll talk about it. So the idea is the short live gives some tools. Masterclass gives more. Then afterwards, the workshops give far more. We just go all the way in depth. If you sign up before the workshop for the full day, it's cheaper. If you want to sign up for half a day, you can do half a day and then choose to sign up for the second half if you find it relevant. So you've got less risk, but it's more expensive. And then if you decide to sign up for second one, the price goes down. And if you decide to sign up for all four of them, then you get even more affordable price to lower your investment. There we go. My name is Frederik Ribersson. You can find my website at ribersson.com. That's R-I-B, like Belgium, E-R-S-S-O-N, like Norway.com. And you can find me on Instagram at fribersson. That's on Instagram and Facebook. So there we go. If you have any questions, do reach out. I'm happy to answer questions during the masterclasses. Also see what people are expecting. I highly recommend you sign up for the masterclass because, I'm excited to share this with you. I'm excited to share the ideas that make life, and in this case, business, more fun, easier, more manageable, less confusing. And it makes a difference. For me, it makes a difference. And there's so much time and energy that's wasted when things are confusing with the wrong metaphors, often with people who themselves are not totally clear. And it's a shame when people invest time and energy and money and the obstacles that are not necessary to make everything more complicated. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll be mindful of your time. Thank you very much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. There'll be more lives. You can see me on the Just Be Instagram. If you want to join when I'm doing a live, I enjoy it. I enjoy getting questions. I find the interaction is more interesting than the ex cathedra talking. And if you're not able to make it, there'll be recordings every time, and so it'll be good to get feedback, questions, and see what's relevant for you. I hope you found this enjoyable and interesting and hopefully entertaining. And I look forward to seeing you soon. All the best.